I'm Reverend Faith Cotter. So the message this morning is I am and I am. When Moses went up on the mountain and talked to the burning bush, he asked God, what should I say your name is? And he said, I am, that I am. I am that I am. It is a circular sentence. There is no answer. It just keeps going. I am that I am that I am. But we have two natures. So we're going to talk about that this morning. But before I do, I'm going to tell you a story. So how many of you like roller coasters? Raise your hand. Okay. I love roller coasters. So over the summer, my daughters and I, family, went to Universal Studios, which has some great roller coasters. They have the Hulk and a couple new ones. So we went on the Hulk, although I don't remember or couldn't remember how much the Hulk jerks you around, but now that I'm older, things start hurting when they get moved around. So I'm like, I don't think I'm going to do this one anymore. And then they have Harry Potter. There's one in Harry Potter. That was a new one. I like that one a lot. And then they have one called the Velocicoaster, which when you look across the lake at it, certain death is sure to come. But being the brave mom, never been on it, let's try it. So we're in line, and I mean, this thing is has anybody seen it? Have you seen it? Okay. Look it up. It just looks like, oh, I am. I was standing in line thinking, I am one with God. I am one. I can do this. And my two daughters and I were standing in line, and the older one saw it go up a hill and come back down. She's like, I'm out. I will see you guys after the ride. But my younger one was there, and she's like, let's do it. I'm like, okay, let's do it. So we get on this thing. There's only a lap. There's no shoulder harness. There's just a lap belt, right, with two metal brackets that you can hold on to, okay? So I'm holding on. And there's a new technology with roller coasters that you don't have to go up a hill anymore. They can shoot you from 40 to 70 miles per hour in a second. I had not been on that type of roller coaster before, so here I am on the roller coaster, screaming my head off, going, who the hell thinks this up? In the middle of this ride, I'm thinking, who invented this? Oh my gosh. Only to be catapulted to 70 miles per hour up 150 feet hill, which is in the middle of the roller coaster, not at the beginning, so you never see it coming. And it's 150 feet up. As you come up over the top, you come out of your seat, and you get dropped down 140 feet to immediately turn upside down. Let me go this way. Okay. We good? Better fix it because I move around a little bit. So we're good. I can talk loud too. So here I am. We go 140 feet down the roller coaster, and I'm screaming, and my Apple Watch goes, sound advice, sound warning. I'm like, that's me. That's me. And then we immediately go upside down. I came off of that thing shaking like I have never shook before off a roller coaster, going, what was that? I felt so alive with the energy. Every fiber in my body was going off. I couldn't think about anything else other than sitting down, right? I was one with this ride. And then I am like, I will never do that again. Never. Charles Fillmore says that I am, Charles Fillmore, the co-founder of Unity, said, I am the uppercase, I am the spiritual self. Lowercase, I am the human side, right? The human. There are two natures of Christ you hear about in Christianity. So the two natures of Christ, meaning that Jesus was both divine and human. And that together, he moved towards what we call a traditional state of hypostatic union. What does that mean? Oneness. We move towards oneness. We are both the I am and the I am. But they're not separate. They coexist. They are one with each other. And that's where we move and have our being, is in that oneness. In that oneness. In Mark, Jesus goes up on a mountain and he says, he transfigures. There's a story, he goes up on the mountain, he's praying, his disciples are with him, and he becomes so white that you couldn't bleach clothes that white. That's what they say. He transforms, he transfigures. Transfiguration, the move towards more spiritual being, that's what that means. He transfigures. He's one, the I am. And then he comes down off the mountain and immediately is met with people arguing. And he's like, okay, what are you arguing about? What is going on? And his disciples in Mark, I'm going to flip to my page. Hold on just a second. Here we go. In Mark 9:24, they're arguing with the people. There's a massive crowd around, and they're talking and arguing. And they're there because there's a man that comes along, and he wants his child healed. Okay? I'm going to read the passage. Whenever this child, everybody considered this a possession, but what he does is he throws himself on the ground, he foams at the mouth, and he shakes, or he seizes up. Now, today we may say that's epilepsy, right? So we don't know back then. But the problem was that the disciples couldn't heal him. He couldn't heal the son. So the father's getting upset. And Jesus is like, I'm not going to be here too much longer. Here I was transfigured in the I am, and I come back down here, and what does he say? How long am I going to be with you? But Jesus asked the father's boy, how long has he been like this? And he responds, from childhood. He answers, it has often thrown him into the fire to kill him, but if you can do anything, take pity on us and help us. And Jesus says, if I can do anything, everything is possible with who believes. And the father says, I do believe, but help me overcome my unbelief. I do believe, but help me overcome my unbelief. And the boy was healed. Jesus heals him. I have to switch to my glasses now as that older thing happens. So the father says, I do believe, but help me overcome my unbelief. Right? Now, the key to me in this passage is, how long has he been this way? And he says, since childhood. So the father had this deep-seated belief since childhood that this boy would never be healed. Help me overcome my unbelief. I really want to believe, but this long and deep-seated thing keeps holding me back. This thing, I want to be healed, but there's a belief that only others can be healed. I want to be prosperous, but I count my paychecks, or I count the days until I get paid. You see, we have both. So our goal is to bring it together, right? Bring it together into one state. We can have faith, but we can also have doubt. But that's okay. They go together. The I am and the I am. About a year ago, it's been a little bit more than a year ago, our family was feeling financially stuck. We just couldn't seem to get over the hump. But we had a vehicle that we were paying on that kept breaking down as well. So we made the decision. We're going to sell the vehicle back, and we're going to go to one car. Well, one car with 4 people, very active daughters in softball and everything else. Oh, it meant there were nights that I stayed at work when I didn't want to stay at work, waited for a ride, right? So it was tough. It was tough. What it did, though, is freed up some of the financial stuck, the place that we were feeling stuck, and the money started into circulation and things started flowing, right? But in my mind, we were going backwards. You see, I grew up lower middle class, and it was my job to get a job, get a car, get your own apartment, pay your own way, be successful, get the title, continue to move up that ladder. That was what I thought I had to do. And now you're taking a car from my life. And I was like, I'm going backwards. I'm going to lose my house. I'm going to be homeless. All this mindset of lack started coming back in. How does that look to other people? We only have one car. That's I am, the lowercase. And the deep-seated belief that my father would tell us, nothing is going to happen to you ever good because you're a cotter. Right? That deep-seated belief that somehow I am now in lack because we sold a car. But the I am of me was going, but the money is freed up now. We paid off debt. Not only that, it led to this line of eventually we sold our house and went to an apartment. Now we have 2 daughters. One is in college. We didn't need the house like we had it. But am I going backwards again? No. This was the time to sell the house. So, no. I had to overcome that belief of lack and to be okay, we have enough. We have one car. It's running beautifully. Everything has worked out schedule-wise. It's been 1.5 years before we ever got another vehicle. And we were okay. Everything was fine. That's what the Father was experiencing. I believe, I've heard of this man that can do miracles. I'm here. I've heard of him. But I'm not sure I believe. Help me. Because of the long, deep-seated belief. Right? Later, the disciples asked Jesus, why could you do that? Why did it work for you? And he said, because this kind can only come out of prayer. See, he had just been up on the mountain, and he was all prayed up. And he came down. This kind of action can only come of prayer. So we go back into prayer, right? Charles Fillmore in Adam's Smashing Power of Mind, Charles Fillmore said, in the Transfiguration, you not only have to know that you can be transfigured, but you have to believe in the law of it. You have to believe in the universe, in that universal law, and God, the good, omnipotent, the divine, that it can be for you as it is for other people. Despite appearances, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. I hated that phrase. I'm going to tell you. Growing up and becoming more spiritually involved, people would go, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And I'd be like, okay. That's the small I am, getting into the, yeah. No, but the truth of the matter is, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Nobody can experience your journey the way that you experience it. Nobody will understand the way I came off that roller coaster. It was a spiritual experience coming off of that thing. I was like, oh, I can't even talk right now. I just need to sit down, right? You are the one who can determine your experiences and where you are in your spiritual growth. But there's some things that we can do, a few steps we can take along the way, Okay? I am and I will be human. So how do you move towards the I am and over the idea of the lowercase I am or I'll be human? One, I'm going to give you actual stuff. You're going to love this one. Pray for somebody else. Pray for somebody else. Clear your heart and allow the energy to flow. Despite appearances, despite comparing your insides with somebody else's outsides, despite appearances of what they may think of you because you went to one car, right? Despite appearances, I pray for you. Despite appearances, the I am. 2, be open to receive new information. When we pray for other people and ourselves, but when we pray for others, and we are moving towards that one state of consciousness, be open to hear the message that comes back from the universe. Be open. When I was preparing for this talk, transfiguration, that word kept coming up, believe it or not. That's not a word you hear every day. But for like 3 weeks, everywhere I went, somebody said the word transfiguration. And it was like, okay, so I'm supposed to look at this little thing. Now, I got it. Be open to receive the information. Meditate. And 3, share your joy. Share your joy. I shared that roller coaster story at work. And I found people that had been on it and were like, oh my God, yes, yes. But you know what they did? They went and told other people. Have Miss Carter tell you about her roller coaster story. Right? I imagine that when Jesus was healing the boy, everybody felt that ecstatic feeling, that energy, right? And they went and told other people. Go tell other people about your joy. We could use that now, especially today. You know, it's a small joy, whatever that may be, or a large joy. It doesn't matter. Tell other people. Connect. I might have been shaken when I got off the roller coaster, but I was definitely alive. And I said to my kids, you know that sign on roller coasters where it says, do not ride if, do not ride if? I'm now in that list. This is it. This is it. I am not getting on this one ever again. I'm not. My youngest daughter went back to Universal about 2 weeks later, and she rode it 4 times in a row. I'm like, that's great for you. That's great for you. Tell others. Tell others about your joy and about your experiences in life. You'll never know how you connect to people, right? Pray, be open, and share your joy. Share your joy.